Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we mainly try to share some basic information for yourself to develop a very clear, good, strong spiritual foundation. So when it comes to this whole practice, we have to remember, out of this all, we try to bring the purity to our mind. So purification of mind is the best way to practice. And when you purify the mind another way, it called the cultivation of the mind also. Because when you purify your mind, it will help to increase the awareness. So once the mind have the awareness and itself, it become purified. When you don't have the awareness, what will happen out of your perception, out of your interference, and moment by moment, you get tangled with things, and as a result of that, what will happen? You accumulate the impurity. So this is the important thing that you have to remember. Most of time we look into outside world and we depend on subject and object, and we divide things and we depend on dualistic mind. When it comes to good, bad, right, wrong, so this kind of things, we try to divide according to outside conditions, positions, shape, character. But deeply, listen this very carefully and try to understand it. When it comes to yourself, when it comes to this path, it's nothing to do with this outside world, the condition of the material or the condition of the world. It is the way that you maintain your mind can bring the purity or impurity to the moment. So as example, when it comes to this cup, in the outside world, it is just a cup. But the way I maintain my mind with this cup can bring the purity or impurity to me, but the cup going to be the same itself. So apply the same principle to each and everything with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. Generations to generations, what the wrong thing we keep doing, we mostly try to struggle, fight, resist with the outside things to escape from the wrong things or the bad things and try to get into the good things and be with the good things. It is never ending journey. But without struggling with any good or bad or right or wrong, you are capable to maintain your mind. And in your mind, the way you maintain it, your point of view, that the way you take things to yourself can change any perception to purity or impurity. So then it's nothing to do with the outside world. That's why one time Buddha mentioned, Nate kama ayani chitrani loke sankapparago purisasakama. It is a kind of like when we look into the outside world, we go with the object point of view. We got kind of like a think, oh, this is good, this is bad, kind of. But we forget the observer or the experiencer or the subject. But here, completely 100%, once you keep the balance with the subject or the experiencer or the perceiver, not the perception. And in that very moment, you bring the purity to yourself. Because when it comes to the material things or the outside world, there's nothing pure or impure itself, anything. But when it go through us, when it become an experience, our intention transform that perception to good or bad. It is a total different way of understanding. Then when it comes to that, you will recognize in this entire universe, you become kind of like the epicenter to transform things. So you become kind of like a transformer. So then that's why rather than looking to outside, and you have to be aware, be mindful regarding your own mind and regarding your intention. And when it comes to that, when you become aware, what will happen? Your awareness not belong to right or wrong, good or bad. So your awareness, because when you get out of the point of view, when you get out of any kind of preconditioned mind, just when you observe, that observation not belong to good or bad. When you start to think out of your experience, once you start to bring your past experience and go with the moment of experience, and that is where you're going to divide things to good or bad. Because when it comes to, in this very moment, whatever comes to your eye, it is not good or bad. So whatever you hear in this very moment to your ear, it is not good or bad. So whatever the position that you hold in this very moment, your posture, it's not good or bad. But once you start to bring your experience and on the top of the moment, you start to think about it. And according to that thinking pattern, you can divide things. So in the deeper level, in the bottom of your moment of experience, if you have the awareness itself become independent and become clear, and it brings the clarity, And with that clarity, what will happen? Your mind has no ability to go with any kind of past experience, because mind can't do two things at once. So when you become aware, in that awareness, only what happens is only your recognition happens. That's it. In that is the very pure level of your human existence, without becoming a bias to your past experience or the idea or the thoughts or the patterns, or to dogmas, religion, believing, following. You just very simply settle down with the awareness. And in that very moment, you become free from that, all the divisions. And in that very moment, you're not creating karma, but the experience happened. So that is the power of the present moment. So through meditation, that is what we build up, little by little, little by little. And in that very level, what happened, you are capable, it's kind of like, so then you can come to a kind of like a question. So what is the action? What is the present moment of action? That is the action. It's called act of knowing. You just know, that's it. You don't think, act of knowing. And it brings the peace, comfort, satisfaction, everything. Just act of knowing. So that is what you have to build. That is what you have to train. But rather than act of knowing, we are used to act of thinking, creating, visualizing, dreaming, hoping. That is what happened to us. But when it comes to act of knowing, you need only the present moment, because the knowing happens only in the present moment. And for that, the major important thing is like you have to calm down, bring the awareness to the present moment and develop the tranquility state. So by the time what happened, these 5 hindrances start to disappear. Kama, Chanda, Vyapada, Tinamidda, Uddhacha, Kucha, Vichikicha. Sensual desires, envy, anger, sloth and torpor, and doubt. So that kind of things. So those are, if I bring an example, so already that your purity is there. Your mind, that you can come to act of knowing, your awareness is already there. You know, you can't bring anything from outside. Only thing is you have to take out that unnecessary interference, the cravingness, or the kind of like a laziness, or the kind of lethargic mind, unnecessary questions, the doubt. So it kind of like this, like gold. So you can mix the gold with iron. You can mix the gold with copper. You can mix the gold with tin. You can mix the gold with lead. You can mix the gold with silver. So when you mix the gold with iron, copper, tin, lead, silver, what happened? The color of the gold change. And it's not going to have the pure shine. Another thing is there's something else also happens, and according to this the things that you mix, the way you can maintain, blend the mix or the bend, the quantity of flexibility also going to change. So your mind the same. When your mind mix with these 5 hindrance, the same like that gold mixed with that other, the ions, other elements. Gold is there, but the power of the gold going to become difference. The shining and flexibility, the strength. So like that. So your mind, when your mind mix with desires, you lose the ability of the pure, that the awareness. But in the very conventional life, we like to have this joy, satisfaction, and the fulfillment of the desires. That all, it's kind of like you create drama, because you can't satisfy in this world. You can look into your own life. You keep chasing, and then the most of time we create a kind of like a dreaming state, and we come to kind of like situations. We create situations, and then we collect the memory, and then we are not happy with the memory. Then again we create something else. So kind of like this is a kind of like a war. We have to keep fighting with things to gain, and always we have a nature to hold it, to collect, and it happens sometimes naturally. That's the very nature of this conventional world. There's nothing wrong with this anything. That's why it's nothing wrong with this outside world, nothing wrong with anything. Only thing is we have to be aware, and you have to activate this act of knowing rather than act of doing, act of dreaming, act of visualizing, act of hoping. You have to activate this act of knowing. Let other things to work that way. So once you know that, because when the desire arises, you no need to push it away or kind of like hold it or kind of like that. There are many other ways, but one thing is, when you practice meditation, you just know it. When the anger arises, you just know it, because there is no way, pushing away, throwing away, you can overtake the anger. So there are many techniques, methods, and things in the world to overcome this anger. And the laziness, there's no way that pushing away you can overtake this laziness. No, because it's related to the mind. When the act of knowing activate, what happens? The mind cannot interfere with another action. That is what happened. So then just knowing itself push away that all other things. So that's why that our mind always invisibly, unknowingly, depending on the 5 hindrance. So it's like this, it's like the body. So the body needs nourishment. So without food, this body can't. So the mind, the same. Without hindrance, this impurity cannot exist. So the impurity, unclarity depend always from the hindrance. So meditation is act of knowing is when you activate your awareness means de-nourishing your hindrance or the impurity. So, but when it comes to, my point is here that the argument I want to bring it to you, look into your life. So you struggle with these outside things. You never saw this inside. Your point of view regarding that things. And you try to fix and you try to change and try to fight with the outside things. But it is not the outside. It is something that happened inside you. You are reacting to that invisibly. So meditation means you empower the strengthened act of knowing. So that's why we need the primary mental object in the beginning to settle down. So, and then you just know, inhalation, you know, exhalation, you just know, you don't do. That's why don't try to do anything. Just know when the inhalation, exhalation happen, you just know it. That knowingly part, do it 100%, don't do it half. You will do it half when you have the laziness, when you have the tiredness, when you have the doubt, when the mind is somewhere else, if you have the anger, if you have any kind of desire for something, then you do half. So that means hindrance. But if you are act of knowing, if you know when the inhalation happen, 100% if you know it is an inhalation. When the exhalation happen, if you know 100% exhalation, that means you mastering the act of knowing. Because now your mind stay there with you in the present moment. You don't need to plan it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 20 minutes, 1 hour like that. Don't plan like that. It's nothing to do with the time. So in the moment that whatever come to you, if you are capable to catch that with your primary mental object, so whatever the observing the body or observing the sensation or observing the mind or observing the phenomena or the very nature or the observing the Dharma. So whatever that you select your primary mental object, in the moment, be with it. That's it. Don't think about next, don't plan ahead. If it doesn't happen, in the very next moment, bring it back again and try your best. Do your best again and again. Maybe in the very first time, it's not going to happen. But still your awareness now will start to push you and bring you, guide you towards that. So go with it again and again, step by step. So by the time you will reach to your maximum level and 100% clarity and awareness, act of knowing going to activate. Maybe it will happen for one time, then again it go back, and then again maybe 10%, 20%, 50%, 70%. Again, you have to keep pushing it. And then again, maybe you will experience to 100%, again it will disappear. It's okay. But you don't need to calculate that all, and you don't need to plan that all ahead. No. Just in the moment, what you experience, bring your awareness and give your best and see it. Because in that very moment, all hindrance disappear. And again and again, again and again, if you keep going in a certain level, by the time you come to a certain level and get into the flow, now your mind, because that's the very nature of mind. Look, naturally we keep continuing things. So whatever the things in day-to-day life, we keep continue. And sometimes early morning to night, you have a day, it's just go. You don't think even. So then by the time what happened, in a certain level, you come to the flow, get into the flow. So now your awareness clear. Act of knowing happening moment by moment, 100%. So that is another way it's called the tranquility state. So once you reach to that tranquility state, from there, your awareness is so sharp and clear. It's like the gold not mixed with any other properties. And here it's pure, it's shining. So now you are capable to come to the point to see the things that you experience and how it come to be as it is. It's a pure awareness, because it's not happen as a result of act of thinking. It happened as a result of act of knowing. And now you drop that all your past experience. Now you drop that all the patterns, the methods you develop in the samsaric journey. And even your DNA system, it's going to deactivate in that very moment. Your ancestors, grandparents, grandparents, and kind of like, and that everything, you come to point to erase, and you become completely brand new person to the moment. You are not belong to any gender. You are not belong to any kind of tradition. You are not belong to any religion. And you are not belong to any nation. You belong to just the pure consciousness and awareness. And in that very moment, you just know only act of knowing. That's it. You can't come to any other divisions. And in that very level, the very next thing happens. You recognize the power of the connection. Why? Because now you see how things come to be as they are. And now you recognize each and everything contributing to other things to happen. So the causation. So now you recognize the connection, and the very next level, when you come to understand that, what will happen? You transform to complete compassion in your heart. There's nothing else. Because this is the man. If you come to activate 100% act of knowing, as a result of that, you start to experience how things come to be as they are. So act of knowing bring the moment to see things as it is. And from that level, you transform to, when you complete that, you transform to how things come to be as they are. And that will bring the ability to see causes and the connection, how other things contribute. There is no independent isolated incident happens. You part of this everything. You are not a separate entity. That's where even the Einstein went wrong, because Einstein talk about only human, but humans are not isolated, independent entity from the universe. If the only the human, the evolution happens, and how about other animals, other plants, this or everything? Because Einstein didn't find out it. So now you come to the point, understand you are part of this everything. And then once you come to that point, you have no any other options. You have only one thing. That one thing is compassion. That's it. There's no any other things in your mind. There's no way it can happen. Something else. You can have only the compassion. And then that is why you become more humble. And that another way we call it is surrender. Whatever come to you, you surrender to that. With that, so let's get into practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy. 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and recognize it. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. So when it happens through the sensation, recognize it, do nothing extra. Just be with only act of knowing. Drop that all act of doing things. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi. Addaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjissami. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.